Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Throwaway Apo. Am I the beehole for excluding my niece from my son's birthday party after she ruined his first party? Last week, I hosted my son, James, 9 years old, birthday party at my parents' house. I paid for and organized the whole event. We just had to use my parents' place because our house was being renovated. My parents had agreed, and they said they had no problems. I had invited James, closest friends from school and football club, to the party, and two of his cousins from his dad's side that he's very close with. James had made it clear he wanted a friends-only party, and I was okay with it. However, the day before, my sister, Linda, called me angry that her daughter, Ava, age 11, was not invited. I tried to explain that it wasn't a party for family members. Also, James wasn't very close to Ava. She's a bit spoiled and always picks fights with James wherever they're made to play together. Linda did not want to listen and cried that Ava was having a hard time making friends in school, and it didn't help if her own cousin was excluding her. I felt sorry, but I didn't relent, and Linda cut the call. She then called my mom, and they tried to convince James behind my back. He also said no and told me. My parents apologized and thought that was it. Fast forward on the party date. I have everything arranged, and the party is going well. Halfway through it, Linda arrives with Ava, and my parents say they'll end the party early if I don't let Ava join. I reluctantly did. James was upset, but I told him to ignore her and enjoy the time with his friends. Ava tried joining the games, but would get upset and scream if she lost, and Linda would make the kids restart. Obviously, the kids lost interest and stopped playing, and it upset James. They tried playing football since Ava couldn't play. She constantly interrupted them. They went to the living room to play Xbox. Ava failed a few rounds and got angry and left. Nothing worked for her, and James didn't care. After a few hours, I took the kids to cut the cake, only to find that Ava had thrown it to the floor and was crying at the table because everyone was mean to her. This was the final straw, and James started screaming at her. He called her a loser and evil and started crying because his party was ruined. Linda was upset and asked James to apologize. I stepped in and told Linda to take Ava and get out. My parents stepped in and told me James was out of line and Ava was just a kid. Wow, your parents are idiots. I was so angry then I just ended the party altogether and told Linda her daughter has no friends because she's a brat. I called my husband, and we took all the kids to McDonald's and got a different cake for James to cut there. I took pics and posted them to the Facebook as well. Since then, I've received calls and texts from Linda calling me a bee and a bee-hole for excluding Ava, and has been demanding James apologize. My parents have berated me as well, and are angry because James now refuses to speak to them. I'm not sure if James should apologize, and I don't want to either. We did nothing wrong, and I won't tolerate anyone ruining my son's birthday. But perhaps I shouldn't have insulted Ava. So, I don't know. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole. You and James should not have to apologize. You did nothing wrong. You didn't invite her because you were trying to avoid situations like this. And I don't blame you. Nobody wants to invite someone to a party that you don't like. And I was gonna say, we know how Ava became the brat she is today because she has a terrible bratty mother. But now we know why the mother is that way we know why the mother's that way. Because it seems like her parents or your parents are enabling her to be a terrible person, where in turn she raised a horrible person. I'm hoping, since nobody wants to hang out with her and nobody likes her, she'll eventually figure out, hey, I gotta stop being a brat and start being nice to people, because, that's when people want to hang around with you. People don't want to hang out with a brat who's mean and rude to them all the time. And again, your parents are so stupid. I'm sorry to be mean, but they're just so stupid. They're telling James he needs to apologize after she ruined every event they tried to do at the party. She ruined the cake. I don't know how. Do you guys not spank? Because I know if that was any of us, we would have gotten our booties friggin' spanked, all right? Because, well, we weren't raised to be rude like this. But you know what I mean. If we did something like that, and they want you to apologize after she ruined the cake, ruined the party, and they still want to get mad at you for trying your best to salvage your son's party. And I don't know about you, but have you been to McDonald's lately? It's not cheap anymore, so you guys spent a lot more money to get those kids some food, and you had to get them a whole new cake. So no, OP, you are not the beehole. Do not apologize. Do not have your son apologize. Don't deal with this. Don't deal with them. Just cut them out. I know your parents and family and all that, but just cut them out of your lives. They seem like idiots, and they seem to only want to make things worse for you. So again, OP, you are not the beehole. And our next story comes from Pitiful Shopping 818. Am I the beehole for dropping off my stepkids with my in-laws and saying that they're not my problem anymore? My wife passed away just before last Thanksgiving. It came out of nowhere, and I'm somewhat broken. To make it worse, my stepkids have decided, since I'm not their father, they don't have to obey me anymore. They are teens, and they've never been my biggest fans. They love their dad, and I was only ever their mom's husband. However, Dina was alive when they treated our home well, and me with respect. After she died, they became beeholes. Yes, I know their mom died. It sucks. But that was my wife, and the mother of my children. I'm also having a tough time dealing. Their parental grandparents are also shiting on me for not being more understanding of all they're going through. I've tried. I've offered them counseling. I've given them space. I have been there for them. I am at my wit's end. The last straw was when we were over for supper last week. I said it was time to go. I can get the little ones to bed. My stepkids said they didn't want to go, and that I should leave them and come back for them. It was a 2-hour drive. I said no. The grandparents said I was being too hard on them, and that I should let them stay. I'm having a hard time with 2 small children, the loss of my wife, and 2 teen beeholes, without having my in-laws pile on to make my life more difficult. So I did. I also packed up their stuff. Instead of coming back for them, I dropped off their stuff at their grandparents' house. I have 2 kids under 5 to take care of. I don't really have time to babysit 2 teens that are just making my life harder. My house is clean for the first time in weeks. My kids are sleeping through the night. My stepkids are loving with their uncle in the same city as me so they can finish high school with their friends. Everyone on their dad's side is against me. I really don't care. I was told by the both of them and their father that I'm not to try and parent them, so I'm not. I actually don't have any parental rights over them. Their dad was not even okay with me being the contact for them at school, so its parents bear the contact. My wife left behind a small life insurance policy, which I will divide between the 4 kids. But I was the breadwinner in my house. I bought pretty much everything there for the last 8 years. So now, it's all mine. My in-laws are calling me a beehole for abandoning the kids. But I have 2 kids that need me more. The older 2 have a dad as well as grandparents to help them. My kids do too, I guess, but they also have me, and I want them to have a peaceful home. Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. And it sucks, and I get it. They're kids and they lost their mom, so people are trying to help them, but it seems like nobody gives a crap what you lost. You lost your wife, you lost a mother to your children that she gave you. So yeah, you're gonna hit hard too. Why are they acting like you have no emotions and no soul? I also don't understand what's wrong with your in-laws. You gave them exactly what you wanted. You gave them their kids that they care about so much, right? I mean, this is what they wanted. They said you tried everything. Like, so yeah, I don't blame you. And like you said, you have priorities. You have to watch over your 2 small children. Over, I don't know how old they are. I wish you had said in the story. I'm gonna go take a look in the comments and let me see if you put the ages in there. I couldn't find their ages, but I found out what their bio dad's what his problem is. He's in a FIFO camp. It's a fly in, fly out camp. It's a method of employing people to remote areas by flying them temporarily to the worksite instead of relocating employees. Well, if he wants to be, big papa and father and all that crap and not let you be a proper parent to his kids, he needs to drop that crap, get another job, and come parent his children. He doesn't get to sit there and throw, stones at you and act like he's the better person and let you do all the raising. So no, OP, you are not the beehole. Focus on your children and let those ungrateful, rude brats rot with their uncle. Maybe they'll grow up and figure out you're a good dude. I doubt it. It probably rarely happens. But again, OP, watch your children. You are not the beehole. And our final one comes from Reasonable Impress 62. Am I the beehole for deactivating my credit card I gave my friend? So, I start. I know, I shouldn't have, but I was trying to help. So my friend Lisa was in a bind a few years ago. Her credit card got messed up. She asked if I could add her to one of my credit cards to help her with credit. Oh my god, no. I have excellent credit with a high limit. Oh god, no. I said yes and told her if she used the card to just pay it. She promised she would. I know. I should have just added her and kept the card. Shouldn't have even added her. Fast forward 2 years later. She owes just about $10,000. She mostly used it for some trips. Oh my god, she used it for trips. I'm sorry, but this story is wild. I spoke to her recently, and she gave some excuses about her boyfriend not helping her pay for the trips, etc., etc. Then don't take trips. She said she would work on paying it on her own. She made a $1,000 payment. A few weeks ago, she comes in again with another sob story about not being able to afford the basics. She has an expensive trip coming up, and she may not go, but thinks if she doesn't go, she'll lose money. She doesn't use the card for this trip, or so I thought, and still didn't make any payments. A few days ago, I got an alert that the card was used at an airline. I checked, and she surely used the cards to purchase airline tickets. I sent her a text telling her I assumed she wouldn't use the card, since she still owes and hasn't been paying, and I would deactivate the card. She responded that she planned on paying after she returned from the trip. She understands, and she's sorry. Am I the beehole for deactivating the card and removing her from my credit card? I really want to call the airline and have them cancel the tickets, but I think I'd be a beehole then. Am I the beehole? OP, you are not the beehole, but holy hell, you are one of the most gullible people I've ever known. Don't do that. Anybody listening, do not put people on your credit card like that, especially friends. I love my family, but I'm not putting them on my credit cards. I will help them, but I'm not putting them on my card. And also, OP, holy hell, you're being taken advantage of hardcore. She keeps whining about not being able to afford the basic necessities, and she's over there taking trips. OP, she is using you, and she's using you in the worst way. She's ruining your credit too. OP, you need to protect yourself. You took way too long to cancel the credit card and kick her off of it. You should have done that the second she started taking trips. You should have canceled the first trip and had her figure out the tickets herself. And no, you are not the beehole if you call the airport and tell them to cancel those tickets. Immediately call them now and try and cancel the tickets and see if you can get something back, OP. This is wow. Why did you let this happen? Why did you let this happen, OP? Everyone could see this was a bad idea from a mile away. I'm also baffled and surprised that you were able to get her to pay $1,000 to it. I thought for sure she would pay nothing to it, and you're probably not going to get anything more from that because she can't use the card anymore. She probably only put that K on it just to keep using the card so she could spend the card so she keep spending, money going on trips and all that. That's exactly what she wanted to do. She just wanted to take advantage of you and use your money. OP, go and get those tickets back and see if you can, I don't know, get some refunds on something. I thought I was about to say report the card stolen, but you put her on it, so I guess it's not stolen, or say it's stolen, because technically, yeah, she's stealing from you, so say it's stolen and have them. I think that might mess up your credit. I don't know. I'm not good with this stuff, but OP, you are not the beehole, but you are very gullible, and you need to stop. You need to protect yourself, OP. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.